Your shoes, whack. Your team, whack. Your content, whack. Your organization, whack. Call of Duty, whack. League of Legends, whack. You realize you haven't beat us in a series since like 2021? Bro, why you gotta do that? I mean, come on. Oh, come on. What feels like an eternity, 100 Thieves LCS is back. We never actually talked about the final week of week 3 before the Esports World Cup break, so let's go back to that before we preview our upcoming scary matchup against Cloud9. Coming into the Team Liquid series, I don't really think any of us thought that like 100 Thieves was going to win. If we could stand a chance, that'd be great, but this is not the same Team Liquid team that we saw in spring. This is the clear-cut best team in the league, team that took a game off of T1 in the week since, and yeah, we got 2-0 blasted. I mean, there were times where we kind of skirmished and felt like we might be able to keep it close early, but once mid-game came, it really wasn't all that close. The biggest differential in this series compared to when we played Team Liquid in spring honestly was Sniper. For whatever reason, he had Impact's number in spring, and this time around, he got bodied 2 straight games. Impact was able to put him in the dumpster pretty consistently in lane, and then once team fights came, we were so far behind and our communication was just not together that it did not play well at all. After the series, I did get the chance to talk with Meech, our ADC, to see what he thought about the series, where he thought things could improve. And again, just remember, this interview is about 2.5 weeks old now. Hey, Meech, how's it going?
Yo, what's up?
You know, same old shit, different day.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, basically the same, you know, but obviously sucks to lose, but yeah.
Walk me through, well, first game 1, because I didn't get to fully catch it. I was walking home from work, but I saw you got your Aphelios pick, which I know that you like. Walk me through that game, because it definitely got a little sloppy towards the end.
Yeah, so basically we blind picked like Leona, and then they picked Lucian, Nami, or like they picked Lucian, so obviously they're gonna like either Nami or Millie or something. So I didn't have like, I think it's an okay like pick there, so I just picked it, and then yeah, it was Lucian, Nami, and then lane was like whatever, and then we swapped, and then I died to Mord when he hit level 6, and then Sniper got dope bot as well, so like it kind of like fucked the game a bit, or like messed up the game. But after that, we still had a chance. It was hard, and we won some like pretty good fights, but eventually they just closed it out on us.
After you guys got Elder, there was a moment where it was like, okay, they're gonna, like, you guys got Elder, back, go to Baron, you'll be fine. Team Liquid immediately rushes it. What were comms like? Like, what was the team thought process immediately after you got that, up until the point where like TL's able to sneak it out?
Well, I think like I don't even know exactly what happened, but we're like, okay, let's just go get Baron. But like, I think we were like really slow for some reason, or like I'm not sure. I don't exactly remember. But after they got it, we're like what, you know, like how or whatever. But yeah, I think we could have probably got it if we all just ran there. Which like Elder and Baron, you know, if we can win with that, then yeah.
Game 2, slightly different draft that I think everybody is sitting here wondering, like, how do you win with this, at least from the outside? Were you guys confident with that draft going in? And how do you feel not only about the Seraphine Ash bot lane, but also like the Ezreal mid pick that we saw both times? And is it getting to the point where it's like, okay, you know, you have this unique counter pick, or like this unique pick that you can bring out, but when it comes out every single time, it's like, does that become a problem?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, honestly, I thought like some drafts are gonna be good, some are gonna be bad, you know, and I don't really think about it too much until like after the game, like could see how the draft could be better. But I thought it was playable. Like Ashe Seraphine is something that me and Ayla have practiced a lot, and we're pretty proficient at it, so that maybe in hindsight the comp was kind of bad, because like we're kind of low engaged, and then we versus like Ziggs area, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Yeah, maybe I'm not too sure on the Ezreal mid, you know, because like AP jungle is popular, so you kind of want an AD mid, like ideally with it.
Gotcha. You now have 3 weeks of basically just break, scrims, and everything else. How do you approach this break, especially kind of on after the last 2 series that you guys have had, to make sure that it's productive, that you go into it with the right mentality, and it doesn't become destructive in the same way that like boot camps, same thing, can go downhill if it doesn't go well.
Yeah, I'd say at least for myself, today like wasn't my best performance, you know, could have played better. But overall, like I think I'm just gonna try to like focus on my own improvement throughout the 3 weeks, or like play more solo queue, put more hours basically, because I feel like maybe some other elements of my game fell off. Like we've been focusing on our lane phase a lot, and obviously I just want to be as good as I can be, so I'm just gonna be focused on trying to get to a better level.
Is there anything with the upcoming patches that you're hoping you get the chance to play with the meta shifting potentially? I know MF's coming potentially back in.
Not anything particular maybe. I like playing Twitch, but I don't know when he's gonna be meta, but we'll see, you know.
I mean, if you can force Ezreal in mid lane and you can bust out the Seraphine, there's got to be a world where you can make Twitch work in theory, no?
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, like Ayla doesn't like Twitch, but everyone else seems to like Twitch, so maybe next week or next match, you know, we'll see.
Here's what you do. You treat them to a weekend at Nobu, okay? You take them out to a
Yeah.
few dinners, butter them up, and just be like, look, we're picking Twitch, but like you can't be mad. I'm paying for your dinner, paying for everything else, and then it smooths it right over.
Yeah.
You guys doing any content plans or like anything else besides like just obviously grinding the game during the break?
I'm sure there'll be like content, but I'm not too sure about that. I think I don't really pay attention honestly to that side, but there'll definitely be content, I'm sure.
Anything else you want to do, like outside of gaming, outside of like anything you're hoping to do with the break?
I mean, right now, obviously, I just want to, play League in my head because, like, we just lost. But, I mean, it's good to take time off to, just rest and be, like, 100% for our next match.
Gotcha. Well, anything you want to say to the 100 Thieves fans out there and the community that's looking to bounce back?
Yeah, obviously, thanks to all the fans and everyone supporting us. Obviously, past 2 series have been pretty bad performances, I'd say, or we could definitely do better. So I think just keep believing in us and supporting us, and we'll show some better performances.
Sounds good. Enjoy the break, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, see you. Some quick around the org news before we get into individual player stats so far and the matchup against Cloud9. 100 Thieves are bringing back their summer block party, and honestly, it's a really damn good deal. I think it's like $25 to go normally, but the extra like VIP level, which gives you an after party, 5 free drinks, and 2 meals from Raising Cane's, who's one of the presenting sponsors, alongside Oakley and, why am I forgetting, Crocs and Lexus. Yeah, like, that's amazing. If you put that into New York value here, 5 free drinks would be probably about $100. The Raising Cane's would probably be about 20. Yeah, you're already getting more just from the food alone, let alone the LAN event. You'll get the chance to watch Immortals versus 100 Thieves at that event, assuming they have it on somewhere, because that's the same day as the match. And honestly, events like this where the org brings you in and like gives you the full fan treatment are pretty freaking incredible. Speaking of full treatment, we got new 100 Thieves jerseys out, the white and gold alternative versions, which are really freaking clean. Is it simple? Yeah, 100 Thieves apparel's kind of always been simple, but honestly, like the color palette is amazing. The sleeves are still a little bit long, but honestly, what are you gonna say? I think it looks pretty freaking incredible. And actually, I think I could put them like side by side with the screen down there, and you can see like the current one the Sniper's wearing. He was just on pros versus the white one. Pretty good comparison. I think the white one looks amazingly clean. And I'd imagine this will probably be the jersey that we wear in our run entirely up to Worlds and then Champions for Valorant. assuming that we're able to get there. I cover most of the other org-wide stuff. I don't want to talk business this episode. That was what the entire last one was. So let's get into the individual player stats, because we got a little bit to talk about when it comes to how are we doing so far, because we're 3 games in, or 3 series in. Jesus, need to get used to that. 3 series into the LCS summer split, which means we only have 4 series left. And while the players are going to be coming back and hopefully looking a little bit different than they were before, given our 1 and 2 standings, it's important to kind of get a temperature check, because the truth of the matter is I thought we were going to have a very tough initial start to the season, and we actually are 1 and 2, with our win being over NRG and one of our losses being to Dignitas, who's even with us in the standings, or slightly ahead. I think they're 2 and 1. No, they're 1 and 2. Yeah, they're even with us at the standings. And then a loss to Team Liquid. And our upcoming schedule doesn't get any easier. We go Cloud9 FlyQuest before getting a little bit of a break and having the matches that we should win over both Immortals and Shopify. But Sheep Esports has actually started putting out player ratings, which I want to use in these videos to kind of give a heat check of where individual players are. And they have a fantastic setup that honestly I'm going to credit them at the bottom here and just have the stats up here so that you can see. It is their ranking. They have a full in-depth article on how they rank everybody. I'll use these for statistical purposes, but then I'll kind of give it a feel and gut check in addition to like the obvious numbers that they have. Starting in the top lane with Sniper, after that rough series, after honestly a rough start to the split overall, 7th place of all top laners in the league, honestly does make sense. Main champions he's played so far are both Camille and Renekton, and honestly, his laning stats aren't great. He's negative in every category pre-15, which means that he's losing his lane matchups, and when we're trying to play AP junglers on River, yeah, we're not giving him a lane to play through, at least in top so far. And it's not like he's necessarily losing gracefully either. He's going down pretty far in CS leads, and then when it comes to team fighting and some of these TP flanks, it's not pretty. He's not on the same page. I don't know if this is the best comparison, but I don't know if you remember whenever Someday was like really popping off early on with like the closer roster, and it just felt like Someday was always just a little bit earlier, a little bit late to things, and he wasn't on the same page, and there seemed to be communication problems. That seems to be the case here. Clearly, Sniper's willing to sacrifice some resources and not be too intensive for the sake of the team and get his lane blind picked. That's why Renekton's so high up. That's why Kasante's there and Skarner's there. But it puts him at risk of being counterpicked, so you need to lose gracefully, and honestly, kind of has been. So I'm hoping he steps that up in the next half. River, with an overall score of 61, currently the 4th best jungler in the LCS, once again kind of feels right. When he's got 4 games on AP junglers and it feels like most of our lanes aren't going well, there's only going to be so much that he can do. And when he's our superstar player and we look best on engaged champions, but the meta has shifted towards AP, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a learning curve. Our team hasn't adjusted to this meta all that well, but River has still shown moments where he can pop off and be very, very high skilled. So while 4th best in the league, still has the potential to go further. Honestly, as our team kind of molds and gels and hopefully develops in this particular meta, I could see him doing better. Quid, the former MVP, yeah, not the greatest start to the split, even though Sheep has him at what, the 3rd best mid laner in the league with a 70 overall score. Honestly, given where he was in spring, it does feel like a bit more of a fall off than normal. It doesn't feel like he's getting these massive CS leads that he was getting then, or having like the high potential outplays. Like, it feels like he has been figured out a little bit and nobody else is really kind of stepping up. But there are still moments for Quid where you see the pop off potential, but then there's moments where yeah, he's definitely come back down to earth from the regular season of last year. This is more of the playoff Quid that we saw towards the end of spring, which is still good, but just, I don't know, it's missing that X factor. Like, we saw what the peak for him can be, and he's not hitting that right now, which is fine. He can get back there. 4 series left. Tons of time. We're fine. This series against Jojo Pyun, going to be a real interesting one to watch. Meech. Unfortunately, not having the best split either. The big thing for him in spring was that he would lose lanes, but ultimately put out a lot of damage in team fights and be able to clutch up fights. And it doesn't feel like we've been in that position, and it feels like bot lane has died a lot. He doesn't feel like he's in the right positions. We aren't winning lanes as much, and then by the time we get to team fights, it's over before he can even do anything. 6th best ADC in the league kind of feels right. Feels like a good placing for him at the moment. I hope that he can get higher, but so far it feels like he's, for the most part, kind of stagnant with right around the general area of where he was in spring. Hoping to see more development as time goes on this summer, but he's definitely one that, like, you really want to step up if we want to start trying to push our status as a team. As teams get better in summer, he needs to step it up as well, and hopefully he can get there. I think this might actually shock people, but Ayla is actually our highest rated player on the team so far this split. 4th best support, but statistically the 10th best player in the LCS per Sheep. 72 overall rating, and honestly kind of agree but kind of disagree, because support is one of those roles where stats can never quite like tell the full story because it feels like he's going to be a shot caller or should be in the game. And our lack of macro decision making and smart macro choices feels like it's a big handicap for us. And he is one of those people that I look at saying, yeah, support, your job is to kind of shot call a little bit in these moments if River and Quid aren't going to be the main ones communicating to the entire team. Or in this case, also reeling in Sniper if he is talking a lot. While his individual mechanical play might not be bad, our macro woes have to fall on somebody's shoulders. Somebody has to bear that responsibility. And while you can weight it evenly for everybody, Ayla kind of reminds me of what a CSGO in-game leader used to be, where it's like you're not expecting them to have like the highest mechanical play, but like you should be expecting them to be able to outthink the opponent. And I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but yeah, we're not outthinking anybody right now in the game. So what is the key takeaway from all this, and what does that mean going into the Cloud9 series? Well, the big takeaway is that individually, we still do have a little bit of skill, but when it comes to best of threes, you have to be a little bit smarter than just being able to, kind of cheese your way and just fight your way to a single best of one win, as was shown in playoffs. And in a meta where it's win your lanes and help your AP jungler farm and keep them safe, we haven't been able to do that. It's not like laning has ever really kind of been our strength, especially in bot lane. Mid lane and top, we had more advantages in spring, but that was more in best of ones. Best of threes, we've never really had like consistent leads like that. It's tough. And we'll see where they come out at now. I mean, maybe it will be better. Maybe the practice that they've had during this break will help them become a much better team that can take games or potentially a series off of, say, Cloud9, who is the clear favorite to win this series. Yeah. The only area where I think we have a little bit of a favorite might be in jungler. I do think River can get the better of Blabber, but again, meta dependent. Lane wise, I think you have to put Jojo over Quid right now. You have to put Thanatos over Sniper, and their bot lane kind of speaks for itself, even if I do think Ayla actually does have the leg up on Volk, at least mechanically. So I'm hoping for a 2-1 series. I'm hoping we can pull this out, but honestly, given how the Team Liquid series went, given that people think that Cloud9 is actually on that level, I'm just hoping we're competitive. I'm hoping that we show better signs than what we did in the Team Liquid series, where honestly, it was a little bit rough. But that's going to be it for me on the Rendezvous this week. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Be sure to drop Meech a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe to this channel as we are on the way to 5,000. And I'll be live on Saturday to watch some of the LCS series. Our series this week is on Sunday. We'll be watching it live in New York City at OSNYC. We've got Riot swag to give away and much more. Be sure to come by. I think it'll be a fun time and you'll really enjoy it. It would just be more fun if we could beat Cloud9. That would be phenomenal.